Hey y'all, welcome back for another episode of Candy Coated Shenanigans, Sour Patch Kid Edition, the only way I know how to be. Thank you for coming back, and let's get into it. So, again, welcome. If you have been watching this channel at all, you know I kind of switch it up week to week with different focus areas. That's my filter system for my turtle tank, sorry. It is the week for finance. I love talking about money, so hopefully you do too, and hopefully we figure out ways to get you more of it. But this week we are going to focus in on paying down debt. We have talked about, in past weeks, we've talked about how to create a budget, how setting goals and how that impacts finances. But I think something that a lot of us can relate to is debt in some type of area, whether it is credit card debt, maybe you have a loan on your car, maybe you have a mortgage, maybe you have medical bills that you're trying to pay down. Debt is debt, right? Yes, they have different ways they impact you, but either way, it's money you owe someone, so we need to focus in on it. Two of the primary methods that are really practiced and preached are snowball and avalanche. Most people, I think, follow some type of snowball method over avalanche. I've done both. Both have been beneficial for me, but I'm going to explain them just a little bit, right? Both methods require you to hone in on one area of debt, like one of your credit cards or one of your loans. You pay the minimum payments for everything else that you owe, but in this one area, all of your extra money goes there. With snowball, you pick your lowest balance item first. No matter what the interest rate is. And you pay your minimums on everything else, and you throw all the rest of your money at this one area, and you pay it down. And 9 times out of 10 is going to happen quickly, right? Because it's your lowest balance. Unless like you got $15,000 on every credit card, it's not going to take too much of time, but it's such a confidence builder. It is such an accomplishment when you can be like, yes, I'm so glad I got this paid off. And you feel empowered. And in that empowerment, you then go to the next, and you will see your progress a lot quicker, which usually keeps you motivated. And then when you get to your larger balances that you owe, you already have the mindset of like, this is going to be a piece of cake. Like, I did it. This is how much I paid off in this amount of time. I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to pay it down. Congratulations. If you have never followed the method, Google it. It's not too hard to grasp the concept of it, and it does make a difference when you have a plan, point blank period. And then the other method is avalanche, and you follow most of the same principles as snowball. The difference is you start with the account that has the highest interest rate no matter what the balance is, right? And clearly that takes a little bit more energy and effort. One, because that means you need to collect all of your different statements and figure out which one has the highest interest rate. Let me focus in on that, even if it has also the highest balance. So it might take a while for you to see or feel that reward. That's why avalanche is not for everyone. But math people being me as well, will tell you that this is a good method because you're going to save in interest. Now, I do always like to say this, right? Because people argue about this. I don't think there's a reason to argue. Like, figure out what works for you and do it. As long as you're paying down your debt, I'm happy for you. I will say, unless you have like high balances on credit cards, avalanche is not going to be beneficial to the average person. It's not going to make a difference. And I say that because you don't have a high balance. So the amount that you're paying in interest is not buku usually. So if you looked at how long it takes me with Avalanche versus how long it takes me with Snowball, you might save $100, maybe $200 in interest. When you have like double digits of balance, that's when I start telling people, just do the math, just, throw it in. You can find links online, throw it in and see what the difference is if you're doing one way versus doing another way. And if it's beneficial to you and you feel that you are disciplined enough to not just see things change quickly, then go ahead and do it. If it's not, then it's okay. You might pay a couple extra $100, but it's better than not having a plan at all. So like, I'm not gearing people to do one or the other. I have done both. I've seen the benefits of both. But if I had to pick the easiest method, it's Snowball. Like the concept is easy to grasp. It's an easy thing to do. And I've seen the success for myself and for clients using that. So again, you hone in on one balance. You pay the minimum for everything else. Like don't just like not be doing stuff off on the side. And when you start seeing that debt go away, you feel so empowered and rewarded that you just continue forward. Now, I think the next big thing is, okay, so Ruby, I'm going to pay my debt. I have this one little piece of hair and it's driving me crazy. Sorry, y'all. Ruby, I'm going to pay my debt, but I need assistance. Like I need assistance with creating this plan. Or am I just supposed to manage this all by myself? Or do I have to use an Excel spreadsheet? Pause. You don't got to do none of that. That's not what I do. I have a budget that's in an Excel spreadsheet. This is not an Excel. I actually use Mint, mint.com. They also have an app, and I think it's .com. Check the link below because I don't want to tell you all the right thing, but I'm almost positive it's mint.com. My computer is just geared. Once I start typing it in, it automatically goes there. But anyways, basically this not only allows me to track spending, to set up notifications, to see different charges that are happening, interest rates, that things I'm paying interest on or fees on, but it also allows me to set goals, which is fabulous. Now, I know this next part is going to be a little bit hard for people to swallow. I have all of my credit cards and bank information linked to Mint. Now, for some of y'all, you're like, oh, anything can happen. Anything can happen, period, people. Okay? Everything gets hacked. I'm over that. I have not had one single issue when it came to Mint. I've had issues with other things, but not when it came to Mint. So all of my stuff is securely linked, and that allows all of the different tracking to happen in the background. That also allows me to set up a goal of paying down my credit cards. What it does, and the only things that I have to type in once my accounts are linked is the minimum payment that is shown on my bank statement, as well as the interest rate. And they have you do that because some of your credit cards, depending on where you are in your credit card getting stage, or application stages, some of my credit cards are 0% APR for like 15 months, 18 months. So if I'm in something like that, they need to know that information so they can calculate things properly to tell me what to tackle first. So I put those things in, and it will then ask me what is the amount of money that I think is additional funds that I can put towards making these payments. And because I have a budget set up, like you do as well, I'm hoping, I can say, oh, I have an extra $1,500 a month. I have an extra $1,000. You might have an extra $75, whatever it is. Like, don't compare yourself to mine. We are not in a place of comparison. I want us all to succeed, right? So whatever that additional amount is, you put that in, and it will do the calculations for you. It will tell you the minimum balances to pay to all the other cards. It will tell you the card to focus in on. And it will tell you that if you stick to this plan, this is how long it will take you to pay down your debt. And I always think that's crucial. And I also believe, I haven't looked at the app in like a month or two. I also believe that it will show you the amount of interest you will save by sticking to the plan, which I also think is key, because people don't realize if you pay just the minimum payment and you owe, let's say $6,000, and you pay the minimum payment, it's going to take you about 10 years to pay that off, and you're going to pay them an additional like 5 or 6 grand, right? So you're doubling what your balance was, is what you're going to pay them. It's ridiculous. Not enough people pay attention to that. Maybe I'll do a session on that, just breaking down your statement and all of the useful information there. I'll have to write that down. But so yeah, use that app. There are other apps too. That is one that is tried and true for me and has worked really well. I have set goals for travel. I have set goals for paying down car payments. Like, I've really used this. I've been using Mint probably like the last 5 or 6 years. So it's years in this. I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. But hopefully these things were helpful for you. If you still need assistance, if you need help in just like building your information up on the website, or just understanding what method works best, or even talking about a plan of action or a budget, feel free, DM me, text me if you know my number. If you don't, DM me, inbox me, message me below. I am here to help. I hope this is all helpful information, and I will see you next week.